Our story commences on the bustling city of Seoul. Our main protagonist, gazing down at his phone while crossing the road, irritated by his mom's insistence on a family get-together, despite him already having plans with his friends. He remains oblivious to his surroundings. As the light turns green, he bumps into a guy who curses him. And suddenly, a deafening explosion rocks the city, bringing everything to an halt. Panic ensues as everyone tries to comprehend the source of the sound. A bolt of lightning strikes down from the heavens, obliterating cars in the distance, causing widespread destruction and chaos. Skyscrapers crumble, roads shatter, and people perish in the wake of the catastrophe. The protagonist runs for his life, disoriented and bewildered by the surreal scene around him. Amidst the mayhem, he spots a woman in the distance, screaming for help. He urges her to follow him to safety, but it is then she met him, the cousin of the god of anime, Chuck Khan's cousin, Ambulance Khan. She dies right in front of our protagonist. Disheartened and shattered by the tragic events, he is left aimlessly running for his life, in a world that has descended into utter chaos. In a surreal twist of fate, Chuck Khan appears before him. A family reunion it seems, and in the moment of sheer horror, Chuck Khan kills our protagonist. He then wakes up bewildered and disoriented, wondering where he is, and the last thing he recalls is meeting Chuck Khan. As he looks up at the sky, he sees 2 moons, and it dawns on him that he is in a completely new world. His nakedness and vulnerability are immediately apparent to him, and he spots a terrifying bear charging towards him. Frozen with fear, he stares into its eyes, only to see it being violently attacked from the back by a pack of wolves. We then cut to a doctor, questioning him as to how he managed to survive in such an hostile environment. We see the wolves tearing the bear apart while he cowers behind a rock, watching in horror. He then hears a rustling behind him, but to his surprise, it's a silver wolf pup. He then starts to run, now embarking on a grueling journey of survival, running for his life, dodging predators and facing imminent danger. He hears a mysterious voice in his head, telling him that his constitution has increased, which only adds to his bewilderment. What is this voice, he wondered. Being distracted from wondering what the voice is, he hit his toe and fell. Exhausted and famished, he stumbles upon some fruit, and despite being unsure of its edibility, he takes a bite out of hunger. As the bushes around him start to rustle, he wonders what the future holds for him in this strange new world. An ominous eye gazes into his soul, leaving him frozen with fear. Suddenly, a massive snake appears, poised to devour him. But before it can strike, it's snatched out of the air by an even more monstrous frog. Our protagonist, bewildered and struggling to comprehend what he just witnessed, collapses in shock. We then cut to day 67 of his stranding. He sits perched in a tree, with the same wolf pack that's been chasing him in hot pursuit. Fast forward to a year later, we see him picking a giant banana and settling down to eat it. As he looks down, he spots the wolf pup that has been following him since day 1. He has grown so used to the pup's company that he feels lonely when the pup is not around. Suddenly, he feels a warm liquid dripping down his back. Looking up, he sees that he's been ambushed by a giant gorilla. He dodges the gorilla attack. Better luck next time, he mocks him as he falls from the branch. However, the gorilla falls right in the wolf's trajectory, about to crush him. The wolf barely dodges. Getting up, the gorilla sees that the wolf pup is injured and decides to take advantage of the situation. Scared for his life, the wolf growls with all his might. The gorilla charges him as he stands his ground, frozen with fear. Our protagonist swings in from behind and stabs the gorilla in its eye, protecting the pup, but he is still grabbed and thrown forward straight into a tree. As the now even angrier gorilla charges at him, he reflects on how dumb his actions was intervening to save the pup, as now he is going to lose his life. He then cuts back to the doctor from before, who asks him, "Why did you choose to do that?" He replies that he couldn't continue to run away from the territorial wars, as running away wasn't solving anything, because no matter where you go, there is always a ruler. It then cuts back to the gorilla charging after the protagonist, only to be ambushed by the pack of wolves our protagonist has been running from. Astonished unto what he is seeing, he lost consciousness, thinking to himself, this is the end. But they didn't attack him while he blacked out. It seems they thought that he saved the wolf pup. It turns out that the wolf pup was actually the son of the Wolf King, the leader of the Crimson Wolves. Our protagonist became a part of their pack, going on night runs with them, helping each other out when they're tired, and hunting together. It then cuts to 2 years of him being stranded. We see him howling at the moon with the other wolves. On the 31st year of being stranded, he was still in the forest. However, he is now able to take on its creatures by himself, but having yet to find any sign of civilization. He continues to help out in the territorial fights for the survival of his new wolf family. It's now the 120th year of him being stranded. He is fully convinced that there are no other humans on the planet. He reminisces on how the constant fighting allowed him to gain a lot of friends, and to lose a lot also. After so many years, he had forgotten the date. However, it felt like it's been over 100 years. But if so, how is he still alive, he wonders. We then cut back to the doctor. He asks him, after becoming the king of the wolves, after 500 years, you weren't able to find any trace of civilization. So how were you able to return to Earth in the end? He explains that he started a war with the gorilla race over the Moonlight Hill. It was a fierce battle. Many wolf lives were lost. He dashed forward to stop the killer. Then suddenly, time froze, and a red light flashed. His body started to disfigure as he and the gorilla began to get warped. All the other animals watched in awe. No trace of him was left, except the knife he had in his hand. We then cut back to what seems to be modern-day Earth, as some secret op agents seem to be looking for something as they are receiving instructions on the phone. She remarks that the reading is weird as the dimensional energy in this area is off the charts. They are then told by another member to send the coordinates to the portal management team immediately. Suddenly, a bright light flashes. All the agents run away, remarking that it seems that the portal is opening. They are scared due to not knowing what danger could come out of it. A loud explosion occurs. They all start to cry, not knowing what danger is about to appear. Except one, the only woman in the team. She takes a battle stance and has her sword ready for whatever evil may emerge. She tells them they should run for their life, as she will try to buy them some time. She fortifies her will, telling herself, "Come on out, I will tear you to shreds." But suddenly, there's a dark human silhouette contrasting with the bright light. She stares into his eyes. A human, she says to herself, tries to draw her sword, but unable to due to the sheer fear she feels. It's our protagonist. He lets out a loud roar,